Hello everyone and welcome back to the FPL Engine YouTube channel. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking you through how my game week 11 went and also my transfer plans for FPL game week 12. So I want to start off by, just apologising for the lack of videos recently. I started off last week planning to, create loads of videos, but then I was just so busy, and then near the end of the week when I thought I could finally make some, I just got really ill and I had a very bad headache, so I just was not in the place to upload videos, which is annoying because I had the best week of my whole season last week, so I really wanted to upload one, but I will take you through how game week 10 went in this video as well as game week 11, just to fill you in what's happened. To be honest with you, the last time you saw me, I just had that Van der Ven bench, and I think it was that. It could have been the week after, but yeah, I was very annoyed. I still am annoyed about that. I'm not going to lie to you because that would have put me well into the top 100k right now. But yeah, things have definitely gone up since then. I've had a massive green arrow last week and just a small one this week, but a green arrow is a green arrow. It's been going very well. Successful transfers, both weeks. So I'm very, very happy with where my team is at the moment. As you can see this week, well, there was some new additions this week in Mark Ewan Saka for Gyökeres and Reinders. Yep, that's it. Saka, very successful transfer. I was on the fence about doing a Burmo, and then, being a Man U fan, I was like, oh, I should do him, I should do him. Obviously, I'm not too fussed. Saka got me that green arrow. He got a massive 12-pointer, so I'm very happy to own him. Arsenal's penalty taker, Arsenal's main man. And I think Gyökeres being out actually does sort of help his points a little bit, just because he is going to be that main man. He's on penalties, but yeah, definitely happy to have him in the team. The defence did pretty awful this week, apart from Daniel Munoz. Very happy with him, as usual, to be fair. He normally does well. Bruno Fernandes, honestly, I know everyone loves Mbermo, and I know I've seen a lot of content creators still arguing the case for Bruno Fernandes, and I will also do that. He's just such a nice FPL pick for people, who take the game seriously, people who play FPL a bit too much, really, like me. So Bruno Fernandes, he's just got so many routes to points. Absolutely amazing. And I'm very happy to have him. Would I rather Mbermo? That's a conversation to be had in a completely separate video. It's just too close for me, to be honest. And Burmo's definitely got open play threat, but Bruno, for point 0.5 more, he's on pens. He's got defcon potential. He's on corners. I know Burmo's on right corners, but I mean the past two games, Bruno's had 2 assists from 2 corners. So you know what I mean? It's a close one, really. It's a very, very close one for me, but I'm not complaining with Bruno. I'm very happy to own him. If you just go back and see, if he'd have scored them 2 pens, he would have had more overall points than Mbermo, and I guarantee a lot more people would have him in their team right now. So in a way, you could argue it's a good thing because it makes it more of a differential, but there we are. I obviously I do wish he scored them pens. It is a bit annoying. Speaking about not scoring pens, Haaland and Semenyo this week. Now, they are two penalty takers that I've never trusted, to be honest. Semenyo shouldn't be on them. It should be Clive. From an FPL point of view, obviously you want him on them. I never have faith in him. And it's the same with Haaland. I really never have faith with Haaland's pens. And there was just something about that one. And for some reason, you could just tell he wasn't going to score it. But obviously, being the beast he is, he scored after. So very fine with him. Moises Caicedo, not the big haul he got the week before, but really not too fussed because Enzo didn't do anything. I'm not even going to get on to João Pedro because it's just painful. So we're not going to talk to him. If you told me João Pedro was going to outscore Mateta against Tottenham and Wolves instead of who's Mateta played, Brighton and Brentford both at home, yeah, I would have laughed in your face, to be honest, after João Pedro had been stinking up the gaff week in, week out. But yeah, I sell him, he decides to score two, but I think a lot of people are in the same boat, so yeah, no way he's coming back as well. There was a chance I brought him back last week for this, but I just thought I'd rather go get someone new. I'd rather go get a Saka and Mbermo. And well, as it's worked out, Saka was a very, very good pick. Iliman and Die, yeah, just a very nice pick. I'm very fine with him. There are ways I could be selling him this week, but to be honest with you, I'm happy rolling with him just because I think he's such a good footballer and I love owning him in FPL. He's so fun to watch. Him against my team, Man United, yeah, to be honest, I think he could score, so I'm fine with him being there. No benching bad decisions this week. Again, like the Van der Ven one. I've not had one since the Van der Ven one, luckily. And yeah, I mean that was just a ridiculous case of that. I mean that never happens. Van der Ven Everton away or Tarkowski Spurs at home. I know who I'd back. It would always be Tarkowski Spurs at home. He's got so many more routes to points. It's I'd say it's a nicer fixture to be fair, and it's just yeah. I mean it didn't work out. Van der Ven was brilliant on that day. But yeah, that's actually why I'll get into when we look at the game week 10 review why I did sell him because I understand I've not shown my team since I sold him. I did my transfer plans video, but I never actually showed the team. That I sold him for a very good reason, and that's just he has no routes to points apart from goals at the moment. Spurs can't keep a clean sheet. He's not got good DEFCON potential. He never gets assists. The only way he's getting points at the moment is goals, and he can score against Copenhagen, but can he do it against the mighty United? No. So it is what it is. I'm happy I sold him. I will continue to be happy I sold him until he absolutely hauls and destroys my rank again. But until that day, I'm very happy with my decision to sell him. As I said, we will take a quick look at how my game week 10 went, just because you guys haven't seen it. And, as I said, it is the best week of the season by an absolute mile. I had one player that blanked this game week, being Antoine Semenyo, and the rest of the team got some sort of return. Obviously, the Arsenal defence, just absolutely brilliant. Before that Sunderland game did let me down, but Sunderland just look amazing at the moment, still undefeated at home. That I honestly can't argue with it. They were just so good. But yeah, no, this week, Burnley away, Gabriel, the 12-pointer, vice captained. Yeah, I did have some thoughts of, let's captain him, but I was never going to back against Haaland because I do think Bournemouth at home is quite a good fixture at the moment. They like to concede some goals, so I was very, very happy captaining Haaland. As you can see, it worked out, so yeah, I'm very happy with that. The full defence, keeping a clean sheet. Anderson, this was the week he got back from that injury. Very happy about that. Just a nice little clean sheet. He was absolutely nowhere near DEFCON, but that was just because Wolves were so unbelievably bad, and it resulted in their manager getting sacked, which had to happen because I don't know what's going on at that club, but it's not very good. Daniel Munoz was one of the transfers I brought in this week, and as I said, he's been so good the weeks I've owned him this season because I owned him in week 3, 4, and 5. I think he got me a clean sheet either every week or 2 out of 3 weeks, and he's got me 2 clean sheets so far. So the times I've owned Daniel Munoz this season, he's just been so good. Richards would have been better so far, but I just think Daniel Munoz's attacking potential is just so good to ignore. It's too good to ignore, and I sold him the 2 weeks he got, good attacking returns. So that's annoying, but I feel there's more to come. As an owner of him for the majority of last season, he's such an exciting player to own because it is just like having a, if you're playing at 4 or 5 midfielders, it's just like having an extra one. So very happy with him. Bruno with another 5-pointer on here, just another assist. Moises Caicedo was the big point that sort of gave me that massive green arrow of, I got a green arrow of, I think it was around 500k this week. So it was a very, very good week. It was only a 20k green arrow, as you can see. It goes from 57 to 37 on the last slide. So but I mean, you take it. Green arrows are green arrows. If we get 20k every week, I'll be very, very happy with that. So I don't mind. But Caicedo, absolutely amazing. I backed against Enzo, I backed against João Pedro, and Caicedo definitely delivered. Antoine Semenyo, as I've already said, he's been going through a bit of a dry patch recently, but I don't want to blame the fixtures because he's not been great. How much longer can it go on for? I'd say definitely give him the West Ham fixture. And to be honest, for me, I have other places I would rather change in my team. I'm definitely gonna just keep him there throughout the easy fixtures because the fixtures do get good. And Senesi as well, he's been sat on my bench for the last 2 weeks, but now this is where he's going to start coming back into the team. And I think you'll see Antoine Semenyo starting to return like he, maybe not like he was, but I think he'll, start returning again and hopefully haul very soon. Iliman and Dye, honestly, this week against Sunderland, what a goal. I remember sat there watching that And just, that's all I can say. What a goal. I mean, it was absolutely unreal. And as I said before, he's just such a good footballer. You can't back against that. Victor Gyökeres, this was definitely his best game of the season. I'm so glad I made the Saka switch when I did. I did it at the absolute perfect time. I kept Gyökeres, got the goal, made the switch to Saka, got the goal. So it's just what you want to see, really. But yeah, unfortunately, he came off at half time. Still picked up 2 bonus because of that Gabriel yellow card. So I don't really mind it. It wouldn't have made a difference. But yeah, I'm very, very fine with that. But yeah, as I said, I'd always rather own Saka than Gyökeres anyway, so I'm glad I held Gyökeres through that run because Saka didn't return either, and then I definitely made this switch at the right time. Erling Haaland, as I've already said, absolute beast this week, and Jean-Philippe Mateta brought him in, got the goal. Just an amazing week all round, and 2 green arrows after that horrible Van de Ven mistake. You just can't complain, really. Taking a look at my transfer plans for this week, as you can see, it's looking very, very bare, which is basically saying it's a very easy role for me. This is on the basis that there's no international break injuries, and, obviously I'm praying there's no international break injuries because that would absolutely ruin my team, knowing I've only got 1 transfer, which isn't great, by the way, having only one free going into an international break. It's not a great position to be in, but yeah, we can only hope there's no injuries. If I was going to make a transfer at the moment, it would be Iliman and Die to either Sarr or Szoboszlai. I am leaning to Sarr just because I really don't think Szoboszlai offers that much. I think it's just to get a Liverpool player in for the good fixtures. And I could eat my words with that. He could go and score loads, pull a Caicedo and get you loads of points. But no, I think I would definitely go to Sarr because that Wolves away fixture does look nice. But no, I'm very happy with Ndai. Penalty taker, only 6.5 mil. Not a great fixture run, to be fair, but I would happily hold him up till AFCON if I need to. I'm going for a free hit 13, so it's basically get past this week, free hit 13, so he won't even be in the team then. And 14 we'll just see from there, because there's only, how many weeks? 2 more weeks till AFCON then anyway, so Iliman and I really isn't a point I feel I have to change. I don't really care, so it's perfectly fine by me. But yeah, that's literally it on my transfer plans. I'm planning to roll, and I know that's probably not what you want to hear when you go on a transfer plans video, but there's no point me spending a transfer. I'm very happy with my team, which is good to hear because I feel like the past few weeks I have been moaning about it quite a lot. So I'm very, very happy I can sit down and finally just say I am happy with this team. So finally, taking a look at my early team selection for game week 12. I don't know why it says game week 10 there. That is my fault. It should say game week 12. I do have, 1 transfer in the bank, so nothing's happening there. The only player that's changed from last week is Anderson out for Sanet. Sorry, I don't know what I've done with this graphic. It says Mukiele where Anderson's meant to be. I've put the wrong amount of what else have I done? I've put the wrong game week, but if you know what, it is what it is. We move. You get what I'm trying to do. Anderson is on the bench. He's got Sunderland at home. That's mainly just because of how good Sunderland have been and their good attacking potential, their attacking threat, and to be honest, how poor Fulham have been. I understand Fulham have been a lot better with Anderson in the side, but overall they've not been great, and I don't think people are looking at this enough because I mean I've not been impressed with them at all, to be honest with you. But yeah, Mukiele and Anderson, playing each other on the bench, it's bound to go wrong. One of them's bound to get a clean sheet, but it is what it is. I think I'd much rather play Senesi with West Ham at home, so I'm not too fussed about that. Raya and Gabriel versus Tottenham at home. I don't think that's a bad fixture, to be honest. I think Tottenham are higher up in the table than they should be, to be totally honest with you. I think they've overperformed. I just don't think they're that good. So Raya and Gabriel at the Emirates, at home, against a Tottenham side that I'm not convinced by. Totally fine with that. Daniel Munoz versus Wolves away. Hopefully they don't get a new manager bounce because I know Rob Edwards has been announced. But yeah, Wolves away, as we know right now, seems like a very solid fixture. Will they improve? I think they may improve, but do I see them coming back from this and staying in the Premier League? They'd need a miracle to do that. So I think it's a good fixture for now. Bruno Fernandes, Everton at home, again, fine fixture. I'm totally fine with that. It seems like a good one to me on the Monday night final. So basically, you have the whole week and then you get to watch Bruno Fernandes and Iliman and Die. So I'm fine with that. Moises Caicedo with Burnley away. Again, I I don't like owning Caicedo over Enzo Fernandez when it's Burnley, but for me, Enzo Fernandez, he's looked dangerous, and I've got really, really lucky. But after that, the fixtures get a bit harder, and what I think with that, Enzo Fernandez can drop a stinker 2-pointer. João Pedro can drop a stinker 2-pointer. Caicedo's more than likely to come away with 4 points because of DEFCON, and that's what I really like about him. And I had him. I had him at 5.5 or 5.6 just to rotate with Reinders. That was the plan. It went completely different. Caicedo ended up being an actual good asset, and he's risen in price loads. So I understand people don't like him as an asset in the game. And if I didn't have him now, obviously I wouldn't buy him. It's not my type of player. But the fact I already had him when he was cheap, and I've gained so much profit in him, I don't see the point in selling because he's got decent fixtures. He ticks along nicely. He gets you nice points, so I don't really see the problem. Antoine Semenyo, finally a good fixture for him with West Ham at home. Are they improving? Yes, I think they're definitely improving, but still a nice fixture at home, isn't it? Bukayo Saka does have the armband right now, I will point out, but will he still have it by the deadline? To be honest with you, probably not, but I definitely could go Saka captain. I've got it on him now. I'm feeling adventurous. I'm feeling like a bit of a gamble, but yeah, no, that could definitely change by deadline and probably will. Again, another mistake on this graphic. It's gone all wrong on here, hasn't it? But and die with Sunderland away. It's not that. He's playing Manchester United away. A Crystal Palace triple up with Wolves away with Sarr, who, by the way, should have scored this weekend. Again, my rank got lucky with him not scoring, but yeah, no, that would look nice. Genuinely, a new manager bounce does put me off because at home, new manager, it's just the sort of game they turn it around, Wolves. It's just the sort of game they get the first 3 points versus a Palace side who are tired. I guess they have the international break to rest, but a lot of them are going to be on international duties, so yeah, it could be a tired Palace side. As I said, Haaland with Newcastle away and Jean-Philippe Mateta. Mateta's definitely a captaincy option, but I think I'd probably pick Saka over him. However, it will most likely end up on Erling Haaland, just because I don't think Newcastle have been very good recently. And Newcastle away looks like a bad fixture. Erling Haaland can do it versus anyone. I'd honestly bet on him to score versus anyone. So for me, I'm going to have to wait and see how I feel next week nearer to the deadline. But Saka's definitely a good captaincy option, but Haaland probably is the best. Anyways, that is it for now. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I will try and be more consistent. I'll get as many videos out as I can through the international break. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.